How's your mother, Peter?
Well, she had hoped to be here, but...
I'm sure she's been greatly troubled by the news. Tell her I'll call in and see her.
Well, thank you. I'm sure she'll appreciate that.
I like the hymns.
A rousing choice, I hoped. Perhaps my sermon was not so much to your taste?
Not much.
Claire.
You're not greatly impressed by St. Matthew chapter 5.
I don't feel like loving my enemies.
You're very fortunate that you know who they are, my dear.
I know.
I envy you your certitude. I fear before long we shall become uncertain of many things. God bless you both.
There's no point in rattling your saber at him.
We're in this position because of turning the other cheek.
Chamberlain did his best.
And look where it got us.
Germany's wild attack becomes more savage every hour. Down swoop their bombers on undefended towns, down upon women and children. From houses burning and houses wrecked, the march of the refugees continues. Here is one mother and her child, leaving a house in northern France that has just been set on fire by a German incendiary bomb. And she is only one of tens of thousands, fleeing before the horror of the mad beast of Europe. Some Nazi bombers are brought down, and for the moment there are others that take their place.
News has come in that the German air raid on the Channel Islands on Friday evening cost the lives of 44 people. The Home Office in London point out that this entirely unprovoked attack on the undefended towns of St. Helier and St. Peter Port was launched by the German High Command despite full knowledge of the island's demilitarized status. Eyewitness reports indicate the attack was by several squadrons of low-flying Heinkel 111s, during the course of which it's estimated almost 200 bombs were dropped on both targets, causing severe damage to harbor installations and several outbreaks of fire. Reports are coming in of a build-up of...
Sorry to break in on your Sunday, Philip.
Not at all, sir. I'm delighted to see you. Glass of sherry.
Would be most welcome.
Olive.
I have to look at the joint. Oh, will you have lunch with us, Mr. Ambrose?
Most kind, Mrs. Martell, but thank you, no. My own lunch is waiting at home, so I shan't detain your husband very long.
Do sit down, sir.
Thank you. Haven't you thought of getting out, Philip?
Oh, who hasn't? But I have a large practice. It just isn't on.
Heard from the boy?
According to his last letter, he just managed to lose an infantry platoon on Salisbury Plain.
Oh.
When will they come?
Any day. You know, we've set up a controlling committee to conduct affairs for the duration.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I'm here. We had our first meeting on Tuesday. And as secretary, I'm to ask you to join.
Me? Why me?
Well, there are 7 of us. For agriculture, labor, finance, transport, essential services, and so on. We want you for medical services.
What about my practice?
No, your time wouldn't be monopolized. Your patients wouldn't suffer.
My patients or my patients?
Neither, I promise you.
One would have to deal with Germans.
Inevitably.
Shouldn't like that.
Philip, one has an obligation to the Guernsey people. It isn't necessary to enjoy one's duty, merely that one does it. Do forgive me, I didn't mean to be pompous.
No, you put it well. When do you want to know?
Now.
They machine-gunned the lifeboat and killed the coxswain's son. They fired on an ambulance. I mean, what are these sort of people that can behave like that?
In war, such things happen.
That's cold comfort for the families of the dead and the injured.
Do you think I don't know how they feel?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Claire, I admire your spirit. But indignation can lead to impetuosity.
And that could be dangerous. You understand?
Yes.
Come and see me again soon.
Shall I drive you back?
No, it won't take me long. Goodbye, Mrs. Porteous.
Oh, Peter, tell Mrs. Bartlett she may give us lunch in here, will you?
Very well, Mother. I'll only be a moment. I think I should have gone.
You still can. It's not too late.
How can I?
Yes. Buck up. See you tomorrow.
You sure I can't run you home?
Work up an appetite for the roast beef and Yorkshire pud. Bye.
I've been waiting ages, Eric.
Sorry, love.
Where have you been?
Down the cinema.
On a Sunday?
A can of newsreel came off that last boat.
Well, can't it wait till tomorrow?
I wanted to see it today.
Oh, so I can wait on my own. Get lunch dry up in the oven.
I give them 24 hours, Elsie.
What?
The Germans.
You can't mean it.
I was talking to a couple of matelots from Brest, trying to get over to England. The whole Normandy Peninsula is stiff with German troops. Tomorrow, they say, at the latest. Where are the kids?
They've had theirs. Mum came for them. She thought, in case of another raid, they'd be better off there. They'd come back supper time. We should have gone, you know, like I said, beginning of the week.
Where?
The mainland.
Stayed where? Some school hole in Weymouth?
They'd find us somewhere. They'd have to.
We'd be refugees, Elsie. Strangers in other people's homes.
We'd all be together. We'd manage.
Together? Chances are we'd be split 3 ways.
Well, we can't just do nothing. There must be something.
You think I haven't tried? Oh, you're C3, they say. What, eyesight? Fallen arches? You watch their faces. Rheumatic fever, sir. Oh, bad luck. Sorry, old chap. Next. We're here. We're going to stay here. And make the best of it.
Mother?
No, thank you.
More crab?
No. Would you go if it weren't for me?
Well, I thought we
I think
agreed.
you ought to say.
Why?
because I think my incapacity could very well become an issue.
Never has been one before.
Will it have ever been put to such a test?
I don't know what you mean.
I think you do.
Well, I'd rather you didn't pursue it.
Listen to me, darling. If the Germans should come here, it may be many, many months before this war is over. It would be unbearable to sit each week and watch you, knowing you remain because of me. To see reproval in your eyes.
How could you suppose such a thing?
Because that's how it would be.
There is the farm.
Well, Jean could manage it. Can you honestly say you would remain if it weren't for me? We've always been honest with one another. Don't deny the truth now.
No. I suppose I wouldn't.
Then you must go. Now, I will have that wine.
Herr Mayor.
You are the commanding officer?
I'm Mayor Richter, yes. Good afternoon.
Inspector Schofield, Guernsey Police. I've been instructed to convey this communication.
Be so good as to read it, Inspector.
To the commanding officer, German troops in Guernsey. From the bailiff. Sir, this island has been declared an open island by His Majesty's Government of the United Kingdom. There are in it no armed forces of any description. The bearer has been instructed to hand this communication to you. Signed, Victor Goslin Carey, Bailiff of Guernsey.
Thank you, Inspector. This is Mayor Friedel, who will be head of civil administration. Hauptmann Reinecker of the Waffen-SS. Oberleutnant Kluge of the Geheime Feldpolizei. The Oberleutnant is from the Hamburg police. Doubtless you will come to understand one another well.
If it is to be.
It is to be. Now, Inspector, will you be kind enough to inform Major General Minchell Ford of my presence?
As a serving officer, the Lieutenant Governor has been recalled to the mainland. He went last week. His authorities are now being exercised by the bailiff.
Then, Inspector, I should be obliged if you would arrange for us to be taken to him.
Very good, sir.
Oh, where can that girl have got to?
Do you want to start without her?
Oh, I don't like doing that. Not Sunday lunch.
I know what you mean.
We'll give her 5 minutes more.
Time for another glass of sherry.
Yes.
Oh, wretched business on Alderney on Friday.
Alderney? I thought everybody had gone.
No, John Ambrose was saying some of the farmers went across to see about the livestock. Most of the people had already left a week ago. Still half a dozen won't budge. Place in a terrible mess. Dogs and cats running wild. Shops and houses broken into.
But who do that kind of thing?
Well, who can tell? Boats from Normandy, perhaps? A touch of local enterprise? Just another early taste of the fruits of war?
I think that's terrible. All those poor people.
Ah.
Oh, Claire, where have you been?
They've landed. The Germans.
They've landed. You've seen them?
I've seen one of them. Stepped out in front of me near the airfield.
He say anything?
He saluted and said, "Good day, Fräulein."
Good God. Huh. I knew it had to happen, but...
Well, I'm
when it actually
starving.
does,
I couldn't eat anything.
You'd better. It might be the last time you do.
Oh, Claire, I don't think it's going to be
Well,
quite
what
like
is it
that.
going to be like then, Daddy, in your opinion?
Now, Claire.
Well, I mean the banality of it. Nearly a year of war. Europe overrun. God knows how many thousand dead. This island invaded, and it's good day, Fräulein.
Would you like a drink, Claire?
No, thank you.
Dr. Martell. Yes, I know. I've just heard. What? What? No. All right, I'll be there. 10 minutes.
Surely, whoever it is can wait.
It's not a patient. Not a patient, it's John Ambrose at the Royal Hotel. I have to go there immediately to meet the Germans.
You?
Yeah.
Why you? Claire, your father
That's all right,
has got
Olive, let me. Claire, John Ambrose was here this morning. He's asked me to join the Emergency Controlling Committee.
But you're not a politician.
No, and I'm not required to be. The committee's administrative. It'll just run things till we get back to normal.
But the Germans are here. How can things get back to normal?
Well, until they've gone.
But that might be months, years even.
Yes.
Yeah. Look, if you're on this committee, you're going to have to deal with the Germans.
Yes.
Claire, don't you? No, I want to know what this means.
Claire, I shall be concerned principally with medical services.
For the Germans.
For the people.
I'm sure Quisling said the same.
Oh. Claire, things are going to become extremely difficult for us all. Your father especially. He's going to need is entitled to your understanding. Don't you think?
I understand Major General Ford is no longer in Guernsey.
The Lieutenant Governor returned to England on the 21st of June.
Then by what authority do you speak for the government of Guernsey?
By what authority do you demand to know?
Let us understand the situation clearly. On the 3rd of September last year, the government of the United Kingdom declared war upon Germany. As a direct consequence of that, the Fuhrer has ordered the occupation of the Channel Islands.
These islands are of no military significance. They were demilitarized 11 days ago.
This fact was not officially communicated by your Foreign Office.
His Majesty the King declared this in a message to the bailiff.
When?
It was early in the week.
It was on Monday.
Major Freidel is from Field Command 515, the German military government organization appointed to coordinate the civil administration of these islands. As Feldkommandant, it is inconceivable he should not have known of this order, had it been sufficiently promulgated. I think it is your own government in London you should blame for not communicating its intentions to my government. Adequate lines of communication are available via the neutral government of Switzerland or the United States of America. But perhaps your government was not over-willing to advertise its decision? So far as the German High Command is concerned, the occupation of the Channel Islands is necessary in order to neutralize the actual or potential military use by British forces. Had their demilitarized status been earlier known, the air attack on Friday might have been avoided. Officially, I cannot say. Personally, I regret the casualties and the damage. However, the immediately relevant fact is that Germany is the occupying power and will conduct itself according to the various international agreements arrived at in The Hague and elsewhere. Having presented my own credentials, so to speak, will you now please answer Major Freidel's question?
The bailiff of Guernsey is, by virtue of his office, also deputy governor. But in obedience to instructions from London, he's assumed the responsibility of lieutenant governor.
You have those instructions? Read them, if you please.
Home Office, Whitehall, the 19th of June, 1940. To the Lieutenant Governor. Sir, I am directed by the Secretary of State to say that in the event of your recall, it is desired by His Majesty's government that the bailiff should discharge the duties of Lieutenant Governor, which would be confined to civil duties, and that he should stay at his post and administer the government of the island to the best of his ability in the interests of the inhabitants, whether or not he is in a position to receive instructions from His Majesty's government. The Crown officers should also remain at their posts. I am, sir, your obedient servant, A. Maxwell. Acting upon the instructions from His Majesty's government, and the recall of Major General Ford, the bailiff was sworn in as civil lieutenant governor.
And where is the bailiff?
I'm sure he would be pleased to receive you, Herr Major, should you care to call upon him.
And your own position?
For administrative convenience during the duration, a special committee has been empowered by the bailiff to carry on the work of government, of which I am the presiding member. I trust that these constitutional arrangements meet with your approval.
The Feldkommandant is, I am sure, as impressed as I am. Having established our respective bona fides, perhaps we might now pass to matters of immediate practicality. Very well. Since it will fall to the Geheime Feldpolizei to ensure obedience to them, I shall ask Oberleutnant Kluge to inform you of my orders.
By order, the German Commandant of the island of Guernsey, 30th June 1940. 1. All inhabitants must be indoors by 11 p.m. and must not leave their homes before 6 a.m. 2. All orders given by the military authority are to be strictly obeyed. 3. All British sailors, airmen and soldiers on leave in this island must report to the police. 4. All rifles, air guns, pistols, revolvers, daggers, sporting guns and all other weapons whatsoever, except souvenirs, must, together with all ammunition, be delivered here at the Royal Hotel by 12 noon tomorrow, July 1st. 5. No boat or vessel of any description, including any fishing boat, shall leave the harbours without an order from the military authority. 6. The sale of motor spirit is prohibited, except for essential services. The use of cars for private purposes is forbidden. 7. The blackout regulations already in force must be observed as before. 8. Banks and shops will be open as usual. 9. All spirits must be locked up immediately. No spirits may be supplied, obtained, or consumed henceforth. This prohibition does not apply to stocks in private houses. 10. No person shall enter the aerodrome.
Waiter, I think we should all like tea now, please.
Hello, Peter.
Hello, Peter.
Oh, it's been everything, this place. From the stockade on Treasure Island to a dugout on the Somme. You heard?
I was up the Jack-o'-lantern yesterday evening. You could hear him coming in over it all the time. Must be dozens of them landed.
You, taking the boat out?
Nobody ain't told me I can't catch lobsters.
Well, I bet you they do. Well, be too easy to slip away in the dark. Make for Weymouth.
Well, if they won't let us go out fishing, what will me and Dad do?
Well, I don't know what any of us are going to do.
Well, sodom, I say, just get on with it.
How about getting out, Peter? Eh? Well, it's only 70 miles to Weymouth. I mean, even allowing for drift, we could make it in a day.
In an open boat?
Rig a tarpaul then. We went to St. Malo.
Oh, St. Malo's half the distance, then it's showered.
You don't feel like trying?
I didn't say that. How about your ma?
She would rather I did go.
I'm not so sure about mine.
I want to get out, Peter. Join the Royal Air Force.
I reckon the old chap would need some help with a boat seal. Didn't see him managing on his own. But you don't reckon they'll let us go out fishing?
I doubt it. But, well, even if they do, there'd always be someone to help your father. Hmm?
Yeah. Yeah. Be a lark, wouldn't it, though?
You game?
You, I reckon.
Look, how fast will that engine of yours do flat out?
Oh, 5 knots max.
That's, what, 14 hours? Have you got enough fuel for that time?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Good. Splendid. When?
Moon was in the last quarter, let's see, early last week. New moon must be Wednesday. Any time in the next few days we want the dark.
Tonight?
Why not? Hey. Hey, bloody good, eh? Had some good games, haven't we? It's been the best of the lot, I reckon.
Yes.
In the paper.
Yes. Makes rather grim reading, doesn't it?
Thank you.
Cheers.
Good luck.
How did you guess?
I'm surprised you're surprised.
A mother's intuition, hmm?
When?
Tonight.
That soon?
Well, I was going to tell you. You don't mind?
Oh, I mind intensely, but I told you. You must go. I don't think I'll finish that.
Mother. Don't worry.
No.
Breathe deeply. Right. I'm going to give you twice the usual number this time. Tide you over till we know where our next supplies are coming from.
I hadn't thought of that.
You're carrying on with your job?
Don't know if I can. Can't go on showing Snow White and 7 Dwarfs forever.
I thought it was gone with the wind.
That was going to be next week.
Oh, pity. I was going to take my wife. What if they supply you with German films?
Well, if it's propaganda, I won't show it.
We may all have to do some things we don't quite like.
I'll not help them.
Corbin, with that heart, you can't do manual work. You've got a family to think of.
Thank you, Doctor.
Come and see me, whatever the problem.
You're on this committee, I hear.
Yes.
Then I don't envy you.
There, that's much better.
Hello. What are you doing here?
I'm getting out with Peter Girard by boat tonight.
Oh, no, Peter.
Why, don't you want me to?
Oh, yes, of course. It was just a shock. What about your mother?
Oh, she knows. She thinks I ought to go. But she's been very good about it, so I wondered if you could sort of keep an eye on her.
Yes, of course I will.
Well, Jean will be able to manage the farm, you see.
I shall miss you.
Well, it probably won't be for very long.
No.
Look, if I should meet Clive, is there anything...
Yes, there is. Oh, yes. I bet him 2 and 6 the Germans would never invade. And tell him that Mummy and Daddy are both well, and that it's nice to be able to get into the bathroom now he's not here.
Well, you always said it was you.
What time tonight?
11. We'll row out until we're abeam of Lihou, then start the engine, and should be in sight of Portland Bill by mid-morning.
You will be careful.
Well, there's no risk. Not if we go now, before the Hun gets organised.
11 o'clock?
Well, you're not thinking of coming too.
No, of course not. But I must go. Goodbye.
What was it?
A school.
It should do very well. I compliment you.
I was under the impression this was my office, Herr Oberleutnant.
Apologies, Herr Hauptmann. I was instructed to come here by Major Freidel.
Is that so? I think it will prove impractical.
Problems?
I was saying, Herr Major, it is not quite practical to share an office.
On the contrary, Reinecker. It is for reasons of practicality I considered it desirable. There are presently 120 of us to administer 25,000 foreigners. It is of first importance we should be united in every way. If we work together, we shall develop a common approach to the problems before us.
I understand, Herr Major.
I was sure you would. The Commandant wishes your company for snaps before lunch. At 1200, if you please.
Heil Hitler.
Is some comment intended?
I thought the invitation was a little dictatorial.
Supposed to be funny?
More droll than outright funny, I thought.
You would be advised to be a little more respectful.
Oh, Reinecker. Surely if I can take the Lord's name in vain, I can take the Fuhrer's.
What was all right for the Hamburg police, Kluger, is not necessarily all right here. I want 4 of your men this afternoon.
May I ask what for?
I wish to inspect all lending libraries and bookshops.
I'm afraid you might find something not entirely respectful.
We've got a 3 mile pull, I reckon, before we reach Plymouth Point. Start the engine about there, continue due west till we clear the rocks.
Well, why don't we cut north across the mouth of Rock End Bay?
I don't fancy that on a dark night and a low tide.
You know, there are a couple of Kriegsmarine launches here in Portland Harbour. And what'll happen if they hear the noise of the engine?
Oh, tide all left. Still be now. 10 foot below high water. They'll be surrounded by half-tide rocks, be mad to come out. Anyways, I don't think we can row the old boat much further. Be proper shagged as it is.
Yeah. Look, how much fuel are we going to have to carry?
Now, let's see. My old thumper do about 10 miles to the gallon. So I reckon with a full tank, a couple of 4-gallon cans will see us all right.
Right. Right, well, let's time it through once again.
Slip out, quiet as a mouse, just on 11. Clear Plymouth Point about 1. Engine on about 1:15. In Weymouth for tea time.
Yeah, so we're going to be out in mid-channel a good bit during daylight.
Well, that's the risk we have to take, isn't it? Otherwise, don't go.
What about that breakwater? Yeah, they've got a post manned on there. We're going to be in trouble.
Ain't got round to that yet. Leastways, I ain't seen them.
Yeah, it's probably still too busy in Peterborough.
Won't be long, though, before we're on the whole island.
Which is why it's now or never.
Christ! Quiet. Okay.
Halt! Come on, quick, row!
Claire, where are you? Claire?
I'll be all right, but I must get back. I mustn't be seen here. Look, can you fetch some clothes? Yes. Don't wake up Mother. Knock up Jean. He should have some old stuff. And see if you can find some sort of dressing.
Yes. I'll be half an hour.
That's all right. I'll meet you at the top.
But you can't manage.
I'll be all right. They killed Peter. Gone. Now.
No, the covers haven't even been pulled back.
Well, she's been away before, but she's always telephoned. I can't understand it.
Well, what are we to do, Philip?
I better telephone the police. Well, that'll mean the Germans will get to know it.
Sure. What does that matter?
Well, if she was involved in anything.
What are you talking about?
I shall leave it till 8 o'clock.
Well, you can't just do nothing.
Look, darling, if the police knew anything, they'd be on to us.
Did you put the pony in the shaft?
No, Jean did.
I wonder what he thinks. Can you see anything?
No. Are you all right?
Walk on.
Thank you, Mrs. Bartlett. I'll have it on the table.
How are you?
What's wrong? We're out of curfew.
Your name, please.
My name is Porteous. I farm here.
And you, Fräulein?
Claire Martel.
You also from here?
From St. Peter Port.
Early to be out.
He's taking me home.
He's a lucky man. Let them pass.
Walk on.
Dr. Martel. Claire, thank God it's you. We've been dreadfully worried.
Ask her if she's going to come.
Why couldn't you? Yeah. All right. She's out at St. Saviour's with Peter Porteous. There has been some trouble. She can't say on the telephone.
She can't say on the telephone.
Oh, no, she's quite right, of course. We don't know who may be listening.
Oh, God. What is happening to us?
Girard. They are a French family?
They are a British family.
It is a French name, I think.
We are all British.
You are a British possession.
If anyone is a possession, it is we who possess the British Isles.
Oh, come now, Inspector, that is an absurdity.
I must correct you, Herr Hauptmann. These islands once belonged to Duke William of Normandy, who conquered England 900 years ago.
An historical frivolity. Where is Oberleutnant Kluger now?
He's talking to your soldiers on the breakwater.
Good, good. Very well, that is all. Send the father in. You are Raymond Girard?
Raymond Girard.
Sit down. Inspector Scalper has shown you the body? Is it that of your son?
Yes.
You knew he was going out in the boat?
Yes.
In spite of the regulations?
Regulations?
You have not seen this? It's a special edition. Yesterday, it contains the regulations. It expressly forbids the putting out to sea of all vessels, including fishing boats.
I didn't know.
The guard on the breakwater saw two men. Who was the other?
There was only my son. And you killed him.
Your son would still be alive if he had stopped when ordered. It is not our fault, monsieur.
Mister!
The guard is not mistaken. There was another man.
I don't know or care about anyone. Except my son.
You may go. We do not wish for trouble. For us, for you, we wish only orderliness. But the regulations must be observed. We are at war. It is understood? Though I am sorry about your son.
Sorry? You dare to say that to me? Sorry, I've just killed your son. Sorry, we'll make it all right. One day you'll be sorry when you burn in hell.
I'm sorry about Peter Girard.
Sorry? Is that all you can say? You just stand there and all you say is sorry?
Be quiet. Now, just you listen to somebody else for a change. I've known Girard and his wife for 25 years. I delivered Peter. He was one of my first. In fact, it seems like yesterday.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm sorry.
Now, that's easily said. I'm sorry, but it doesn't necessarily make everything all right.
But what else can I say?
Well, just exercise a little forethought. Don't make it necessary in the first place. It's called thinking of others. I think circumstances are going to be very, very difficult for all of us. We must think before we act at all times. I'd better go and look at this injured boyfriend of yours.
The father, Raymond Girard, denies knowledge of another man.
Do you believe him?
I'm not sure.
Commandant?
We were discussing last night's shooting. Reinecke is unsure if there was a second man.
I'm in no doubt, Herr Major. It is certain that there was. The guard on the sea wall saw them both, and 2 life jackets were found on the rocks.
How important is it we find this man?
That's for you to say, Herr Commandant. But it is important, I should say, that our commands are obeyed. And if they are not, then the offenders must be seen to be dealt with.
Shot?
If necessary.
Reinecke?
Well, in terms of administrative practicality, I agree, sir, but does it not go further?
Go on.
Army Group D in France are pressing ahead with plans for the invasion. Morale on the British mainland will be a factor in the successful outcome of such plans. Now, I do not condone civil disobedience on these islands, but reports of our conduct here
could affect attitudes there.
I know that is Berlin's view.
A naive one.
Well, you tell them that.
I have lived in England. I also am not sure. However, we should find this man. When we have found him, then I shall decide.
was good of you to come over so quickly.
There's no trouble at all. He'll be perfectly fit in a couple of weeks. One damage to his shoulder muscles will incapacitate him for a while.
Just as well, perhaps.
Jane Austen? A person of much sensibility.
Something we shall all feel the need of in the times ahead.
It's a tragedy about young Peter Girard, but I'm not altogether sorry your son failed in his attempt.
I don't need him to look after me, Philip. I told him to go.
It wasn't just you I was thinking of. There's this island. We've lost so many good people already. We need some to stay. People of sensibility.